A couple rented a cabin far from their busy town. Peace and quiet, not a soul around. The cabin was quaint with a rustic appeal. Pine walls and throw rugs gave it a cozy feel. The room was nice.
No washroom?
Beth cried.
No, hon, but there is an outhouse.
Okay, I guess not having an indoor toilet isn't that big a deal. But as long as it's clean and there's no bugs, I won't squeal.
They had a good chuckle and started to unpack. They made a campfire dinner as the sky set to black. The crickets chirped and the frogs croaked as the two watched the fire with its flame and smoke. The night grew darker and the hours flew by. The couple chatted and laughed, indulging in their beer and rye. It was almost midnight and they decided to settle in. They put out the fire and made their way into the cabin. They laid in bed and listened to the wild sounds. Such harmony and relaxing rhythm started to surround. 3 a.m. Daniel awoke. He had to use the outhouse. He slipped on some warm clothes, trying not to wake his spouse. Out into the fresh air with flashlight in hand, making the trip down the path to use the can. Doing his business, sitting quietly on the throne, he heard a voice outside. He knew he wasn't alone.
Daniel, are you there? Come swim with me.
He answered back to his wife.
Beth, it's late. Don't be silly.
He laughed to himself and opened the door to complete darkness, flashing his light into the encompassing black abyss. His wife spoke again, this time with more charm.
Daniel, come swim with me. The water is so very warm.
He heard a loud splash and shined the light on the lake. It looked like Beth was completely naked, for goodness sake.
All right, honey, I'm coming,
he said as he took off his pants. He thought he was in for some late-night romance. He flung his sweater off and flung it to the ground. Wading into the lake, towards Beth, outward bound. The sky was extra dark, no moonlight shone through. Daniel anticipated their encounter. His emotions grew.
Come to me, Daniel, just a little closer.
Her arms opened wide. Then he heard the cottage window open with an aggressive slide.
What are you doing out there, Daniel?
Beth asked.
It's really late.
Daniel glanced back towards the cottage with nervous hesitate. He was afraid to look back again at who he thought was his wife. He felt a tight snare and struggled for his life. Beth tried to peer out the window to see what was going on.
What are you doing out there? You've been gone so long.
She didn't hear a reply and started to worry. She got dressed and ran to the lakeside in a huff and a hurry.
Daniel? Daniel, answer me, please. Are you okay?
Then suddenly she heard his voice, and her fear went away.
Beth, the water's so warm. Come on in. Come swim with me.
Oh, freak, Daniel. You had me worried. Where are you? I can hardly see.
Come to me, Beth. Come let the water surround.
Beth giggled and slipped off her nightgown. As she walked deeper into the water, a chill met her from within. When she got close to him, she realized it was not her husband. Blood swirled around her, with chunks of her beloved Daniel afloat. She tried to scream, but nothing came from her throat. She thrashed at the creature and tried to fight. Finally, Beth let out a horrific scream that echoed throughout the night. Strange skin, human-like, rise. It can mimic your voice and structure as a disguise. Lure you out and lay stake. It is the creature that lurks in the lake. As for Daniel and Beth, their disappearance was hard to track, but there is still a rent-a-weekend sign hanging on the shack.
Daniel, are you there? Are you there?